through the back. So we creepin', caps are blue, so you know that we peeking in our bag for the night.
Welcome to another episode of 7 p.m. in Philly. I'm your host, Steve. And before we get started, I want to remind you guys to like, subscribe, comment. We're trying to build this page. And So today I have a very, very special episode. We're going to discuss sports. I told, everybody that, this podcast, it's about a bunch of different things, and we're going to keep a bunch of different subjects, bunch of different subject matters. So today we're talking sports and preferably basketball. And I have a very special guest here with me, man. Like, this guy right here, he is my brother, like my brother. Like, when I first moved to Philadelphia, he was one of the very first friends that I had here. We kind of connected through basketball. Yep. He is a basketball guy. He went to Frankfurt High School with me. He was on the basketball team. He dropped buckets with the lefty. Yes. He knows so much about basketball. Guys, I want to welcome my dog, Reese, to the podcast. Reese.
Yes, sir. Yes,
dog, welcome to the pod, my G.
My God. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for pulling up on me, man. So, like we do in every episode, we just going to get right into it. So, the first topic we're going to talk about here is your boy Dillion Brooks.
Yeah.
Man, like, I don't understand this guy. Like, I kind of asked myself, is he doing it on purpose? Mm-hmm. All the antics, is this just him? Is this a light-skin thing? I mean, I don't know. What do you think about this guy?
It might be a little bit of both and everything you said, but I just think this is just, he's trying to find his niche. I'm going to be this villain, and that's going to carve my role out in this league.
Right.
And he's going to have a pretty successful, career because, it's a copycat league. Everybody does it.
Right.
I just think nowadays, especially with Dillion Brooks, he's just trying a bit too hard, man. It's
right.
It's I look at it like you got to talk that talk. You got to be able to. You got to win. Right. You can't just talk and you haven't done anything, man.
Absolutely.
That's my main issue with it, man.
Right. Absolutely. And so we look at it, and he gets into the beef with Draymond. He said he doesn't like Draymond, but there is some stuff out there prior, because the internet, the internet. I don't know who's the investigators out here, but you put something out on the internet, you think it's gone? Nah, it's there. And so, before this beef with Draymond, he said he wanted to be like Draymond.
Yes.
And now he has this beef with Draymond. What do you think that's about, man?
Again, like we were just saying, I just think it's, they're trying to let it be known that we're here. They got a great young core.
Right.
But I think it's just trying to be forced, man. You can't say that you like somebody. And I understand you were younger. We don't want to hold you accountable for that. But this is how we know it's just all a game. And, I don't think it's going to last that long, man. I don't think he's that good, to be honest.
Right.
I like his toughness. He plays hard every night. But, just play the game, man. Right. That's what I want to see.
Right. And recently, like this, I was watching, he just got fined $35,000 for pushing a cameraman. Yeah. Like a fucking cameraman. Like, are you serious? Like, you're that angry? And I don't know if there's a backstory. I don't know if the cameraman said something, but I don't think cameramen do that. They come to their job, they shoot their stuff, and then they keep it rolling. So I don't know what the aggression with the cameraman and pushing the cameraman was for. I don't know.
I guess he has to carry this tough guy mentality the whole way through. I don't get it either. Like I said, they're just doing their job, but he's showing the type of person he is, man. And today's society is just do what I want to do. And like the guy came to a game, shirtless, pretty much had like a leather vest. I'm like, who's this guy? But
right. Nah,
each his own, man. I don't want to judge.
No hate on Dillion Brooks, but it's like a lot of the stuff that we're seeing is done. It's a little ridiculous. It's a little bit much, and it's kind of like, and I'm not a hater. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, do you? I mean,
we call it how we see it.
Right.
We call it real.
Right.
And you know, that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's kind of like for me, it's like, yo, Dillion Brooks, you're doing a lot.
Yeah, a lot. It's just
right.
Calm down, my man.
Right, take it easy a little
just
bit.
a little bit.
But since we already on the Grizz, we got to talk about Ja.
Yeah,
we got to talk about Ja, and he's been in the news a lot. It's kind of like, yo, bruh, when it rains, it pours, and it's like, you know, the gun, the strippers, the beef with pulling up to his sister's school or pulling up to the mall. It's like it just doesn't stop. And then Ja's a great player. Like he's like one of those players, like he's transcending to be like, I don't know if he's next up. I don't know if he has it to be that guy that carries the NBA, but he's one of them. He's in that pool of guys that has it. So it sucks, but it's kind of like now he's on this apology tour.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, what's your take on this whole job business, man? How do you feel about that?
First, I want to say, what we all know, he's still a kid,
right?
Living in different times. It's different from when we were kids. We didn't have all this, social media. We wasn't always under a microscope. Right. He's a millionaire. He's a superstar, so it comes with that.
Right.
Obviously, it's crazy, like you said, he on this apology tour, but it's necessary. Right. You know what I mean? I love that guys from the past that went through this similar things are trying to get ahead of it and, be on him about it. So he has the love. I just think it's just a kid being a kid. I mean, imagine, if, you're a millionaire at, he's 23?
Yeah, 23
years old.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's like, it doesn't matter the help. The everyday parent out here, as much as you can do for your child, they have a mind their own. Right.
Absolutely. Because I see a lot of folks that pointing fingers at Ja's dad, like, yo, T. Morant, you need to be a father and this and that. And it's kind of like, yeah, I get it. But at the end of the day, you don't know what he's telling his son behind the scenes. You don't know if he's telling Ja, like, yo, dude, like, cut it out. Like, yo, you gonna fuck the bag up.
That's what I'm saying. If anybody out here thinks that his dad is not telling him all the right things, you got to be crazy. I'm not saying that it was never any parents that wasn't telling their kids the right thing, but I'm pretty sure he sees what, the status that, his son has, and it's very important for him to be in his corner. Again, we talking about a 23-year-old kid who's has the keys to. He's a top tier guy. It's him, Tatum, and Luka. I feel like can be the face of the league. Right. So it comes with a lot, man.
Absolutely. And it's like, I'm on social media and I see all these things. They're like, yo, T. Morant, he's always in the limelight. He's beefing with Shannon. He's doing all this stuff. But at the same time, like, he's enjoying the success of his son, as any dad would. Right. But at the same time, it's kind of like, you got to understand, like, he's still a dad. He's still a father. Like, Ja Morant I don't think Ja Morant would have gotten this far without his dad.
Absolutely.
Being a dad.
Absolutely.
And that's what kind of like pushes me to think that, I'm sure his dad is telling him the right things and pushing him to do the right things. But that's that. And
I just want to say this, listen, for like moving forward with just everything, we can't, make assumptions, about anyone that we're on the outside looking in. It's just what it is you never really know. And we're going into that lane where we're telling, like you said, you telling T. Morant how to be a father. And a lot of people out here, they're not parents.
All right.
You know, everyone has an opinion. I get that, but it's like, I'm not going to elaborate on something that I really don't know, you know, the whole truth behind it.
Absolutely.
Just give more support than you give the hate. That's
right.
That's what that kid needs. That's what any kid needs.
Right. Because I posted something on TikTok and Instagram is kind of like, yo, lead with love and compassion. Because, like, you know, I was watching like Undisputed and all these other shows, and, you know, Skip Bayless was like, yo, he's a Crip or something. Yeah. And then, you know, I was hearing other, you know, places, other like news media calling him a super thug and all that. I'm just kind of like, yo, bro, he's 23 years old.
Yeah.
He's 23 years old. And the point that I made on this kind of like, dog, you remember when we were 23 years old?
I do.
And remember all the dumb shit that we did?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And we weren't millionaires. We were broke. We were broke.
So imagine if we had that bad.
Right. So imagine if you have that money and you're a kid and you never had that money before. Now you have the money. You got people around you just saying yes, yes, yes. Everywhere you go, there's a red carpet. Right. It's kind of like, yo, these things are gonna happen.
He's human, people. You
right.
know, he's gonna make the mistakes. I'm pretty sure this wouldn't be the last. But again, like I said, let's show more support than we do, you know, then we criticize people. Show the love. That's what these kids really need, man. It's not all about because you have a page or you have a voice, you just want to use it in the wrong way. It's not about that. But you know, to each his own. I don't judge nobody. No. And I'm rooting for the kid.
Right.
And I know he would bounce back.
No, I believe he'll bounce back. The NBA only gave him what, 8-game suspension, which he's served most of it already. I
right.
think
so he'll be probably playing Monday.
Right.
And listen, they did it the right way. They got ahead of it.
Right.
And, you know, all the support that he's going to get, this is going to be.
Because a lot of people were like, 8 games?
Yeah.
8 games? Like, Gilbert Arenas got, suspended the whole season? But it was different.
He brought a gun to the facility. Like, you see his career was pretty much over after that.
Right.
If you bring a gun to your workplace, you think you're still working there?
And then he comes back and he...
Like, come on, man. And he has a little dance with it. Like, come on.
I'm not gonna lie. Yo, Gilbert, if you ever see this pod, that shit was amazing.
Yeah.
It was funny as hell. It was stupid. I'm sure you thought it was. Now you look back and it was stupid, but it was funny as hell.
Right.
It made for good. It made for good TV.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. But do you think that the punishment was? You think they let him off easy?
So, all right. I feel like they did only because he complied with what the NBA wanted.
Right.
Pretty much, like, you know, he met with the commissioner and they sat down and, you know, like I said, it was just, yes, sir. Right. You know, no, sir. Right. Won't do it again. Right. Little pat on the wrist.
Right. Because it's kind of like, you look at it like across the board and like the punishment is kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Certain people will look at like, all right, well, Ja got this.
Right.
And then Kyrie was like this whole like they wanted to like fucking hang Kyrie. Like they wanted to kill him.
But you know why? I mean, you know, when a certain group of people feel like you're disrespecting them and they control a lot of what's going on out here today.
We don't want no smoke with them. So
at all.
we gonna keep it cordial.
At all. You see, I didn't even mention
Right. Absolutely.
It's just how it goes, man. It's just they just want to be able to, you know, bring you all the way down, let you know, like, look, we run this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was ridiculous what Kyrie had to go through.
Right. It was.
But I knew that this situation was different because, like, honestly, what did he do? What did he do wrong?
Who, Ja?
Yeah.
I mean, the gun, the waving the gun.
Right, but what I'm saying is we see that, you know, it's the figure. That's why he's getting the, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why he's getting the criticism.
Absolutely.
But
He's an NBA player. Kids look up to him. You got these brands, these multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar brands that are sponsoring him, that are shoving out all this money to him, and it's kind of like, yo, dude, like, you know, we're paying you to be the face, and you can't have any blemishes, at all. And I feel like that's the thing. And as soon as you do one thing wrong, which I don't never understand, like you do one thing wrong, and these brands is kind of like, yo, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, as a brand, and I always think about that. Like, as a brand, do you ever sit back and be like, yo, these guys that we employ, or these people, men and women that we employ, they're human.
Yeah, but no, absolutely. But you're just putting a face to a brand. So pretty much, I feel like they don't care. They care more about the backlash that they will receive from this individual.
Right.
You know, it's all about the dollar. So, you know, if the backlash is crazy and it's starting to affect the dollar, then that's when these big companies gotta like step forward.
But I get it. I understand that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, nobody's gonna stop wearing Nike. Like, nobody. All right. You boycott Nike. You go, you know what? I'm not going to wear Nike. But it's kind of like the masses are going to continue to wear Nike.
Absolutely.
It's kind of the same thing with Kanye West and Adidas. It's kind of like, all right, Kanye said a bunch of outlandish shit. But if Adidas was kind of like, all right, yo, Kanye apologized and, you know, he's sorry. You know, we're trying to see the human in people and people make mistakes. You know, Kanye West deals with a mental illness or whatever the case may be, whatever. I mean, we're just using Kanye West as an example.
Right.
It's kind of like people will continue to wear the sneaker. There's going to be people that's going to be like, you know what? Nah, you know what? Fuck this. I don't support this brand. And rightfully so. That's fine.
Right.
But at the same time, there's going to be people like, nah, I love this brand too much to not wear it.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's kind of like, I don't understand why these brands don't see the human in people. It's kind of like, you know what? They mess up the same way we mess up. Let's forgive them. Let's put out a campaign to forgive them. Let's put out a campaign to humanize these athletes. And I feel like they don't humanize these athletes. It's kind of like, as soon as you fuck up, all right, yo, you see it. It comes like right after, like Nike gone, Sprite gone, Coca-Cola gone. This, like, everything gone. Like, every sponsorship that you have, as soon as you fuck up, it's gone. And it also depends on what you do.
Absolutely. And the bottom line is everyone is, you know, replaceable. Can never think you're irreplaceable. You're you know, it's another you in the waiting. If you look at it, when they dropped Kyrie and then Ja was right there. It's like he was already waiting in the wing. So it's like they already had their next chess move.
Right. So
it wasn't an issue with letting Kyrie go. Hey, Kyrie, you in your 30s, but we got this young fresh meat over here. He's young. He's a ascending superstar.
Right.
You go ahead and mess up. We got your replacement right here.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. If you think about it, they didn't waste no time, bro.
No, you didn't.
The Ja one, it was like Kyrie was going through his stuff. Here comes Ja one.
Right. And you're absolutely right with that. But for me, it's just kind of like, you made millions off Kyrie. Millions.
Yeah.
Millions. So for me, it's just kind of like, can't you not sit back and be like, as a brand, is someone in the boardroom kind of like, yo, guys, we made millions off this guy. How about we try to work with him? And honestly, I don't know what happens behind the scenes. We don't know.
Right.
They could sit down with Kyrie and be like, hey, yo, we want to try to continue to make business with you. And then Kyrie's just kind of like, yo, nah, y'all don't believe in my vision, blah, 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 blah. We don't know.
Right.
But from past experience and seeing how these things work, I believe that it's just kind of like, as soon as you fuck up, it's kind of like, all right, yo, deuces. We're done.
No, you're absolutely right. It just comes from, it's the pressure put on these, you know, on these brands. the backlash. They're afraid. They don't want the backlash.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the main reason they react. You know,
Right.
I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of people. Hey, he said this. You need to drop him. Or, like you said, it's not going to stop people from wearing Nike
At all.
But it's like they're still afraid of, like you said, Ja make them all these millions, Kyrie make them all these millions, but we still care about the backlash,
Right.
Because replaceable,
Right.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. So any up and coming, star in whatever sport, they just want to make money off you, man. That's all they care about,
Right.
So you gotta care about yourself, that much more, and get in and get yours and get out, man. Like,
right. Absolutely. And also to these brands, man, like, and I don't know who watches this. I don't know, if anybody watches it, but like, humanize these athletes, man.
Yes.
Like, show these athletes love. Show these athletes that, like, yo, listen, man, like, we understand that you're human.
Yes.
We understand that you may mess up, and we got your back.
yes,
Because at the end of the day, the way it's looked upon us regular folks, it's kind of like as soon as someone messes up, it's kind of like, you know what, screw them. Like, and I get it, like, they look at it as a job in a sense, but like, yeah, if you mess up at your job, it's kind of like, all right, you know what, if I fuck up at my job, they're going to fire me.
right.
I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, it's on a different it's on a different scale. Like, these athletes make you money.
Yes.
And also, as a regular person like me, like, I don't have a microscope on me. There's not paparazzi's not following me around. I'm just a regular Joe Schmo.
Right.
And obviously, it leads up to the discussion. It could go both ways. I get that. But at the same time, these athletes have so much pressure on them, and they're human also. And they have all this money. They're kids, and they're going to make mistakes.
It's been happening since
the beginning of time.
Right.
So to these brands, one thing I would tell you guys is to try to have some compassion and understanding. It'll be okay to come up with a campaign of forgiveness.
Yes.
And come up with a campaign of, these athletes are regular people.
Yes.
And these athletes have feelings. So brands, y'all watch this. That's something I should roll with.
And I just want to say to that as well. Listen, any inspiring, people out there that want to start up their own brand, like Nike, Adidas, all those top brands, they can't be the ones to forever run the show. Athletes, go out there and connect with smaller, businesses, and build them up. That's just that. It has to be the wave. It has to be the movement. These big brands just control everything, and they've been controlling everything since day one. We got to change the narrative. We have to do that. So,
absolutely,
athletes, man, get these other guys, let them get in this lane, man. Let them get in this lane for sure.
Absolutely. I truly believe in that. Yeah. But segueing it over and to another topic here, we got to talk about this MVP race.
Yeah.
We got to talk about it. So, for me, the big thing is Joker and Embiid.
Yeah.
I'm riding with Embiid. I'm riding with Embiid. I mean, like, I'm tired of this, like, Joker thing, man. It's kind of like, and I know a lot of people, sport guys, are gonna bash me. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Joker does everything, and he assists, and he does everything. He's just, the reason why everyone's bashing him is because he's a bigger guy." Man, fuck that, bro. Like, Embiid's the guy.
Yes.
When he steps on the court, he holds the team down.
Yes.
You take him off the court, the Sixers have nothing.
I agree.
I feel like Embiid scores 50 points every game. Obviously, he's averaging like 30-something.
Yep.
But, like, I feel like when he steps on the court, every time he gets on the court, it's like 40, 50, 45. I mean, on a regular game, he scores, like, he'll give you like 30.
You know what he had tonight? 38 and 13. Easy.
Easy
money,
light work.
Yes.
So what do you think about the MVP race? What's your take on that?
All right, so we got to go back a couple years when Jokic won it the first time.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Embiid didn't qualify because he didn't play enough games.
Right. Which I think is bullshit.
I do too. So I felt like he should have won it then, but I wasn't mad that Jokic won it. The second time, I feel like it was even closer, right, for Embiid to win it.
Right.
This time, I just really feel like it's Embiid's now. Like the stretch he's been playing lights out. The thing with Jokic, it's like the Tim Duncan effect for me. Like these old guys love that boring shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And no knock to Jokic. Like you 2-time MVP, back-to-back MVP.
Right.
Can't take anything from you. You averaging triple-double this year.
Right.
But when you put the tape on, that eye test tells a different story.
Right.
You know, he can't guard a soul out there. You know, we even seen the matchups with him versus Embiid. Embiid washes him every time.
Right.
The most valuable player, like you said, if you take Embiid off the team, come on, man, they probably won't make the playoffs, man.
Absolutely.
You can say the same for Jokic, but it's just that different feel. Like you gotta watch these games, man. Like it tells it all. Like Jokic is having a phenomenal season, but lately, like the past month or so, Embiid by far has been the best player in the league. He's carrying that team on both ends,
right,
making game-winning blocks. You know, we're in Philly, you know, so we firsthand watching these games. Right. I don't really miss any games. He's dominating every single game,
right,
and he should win it this year. If he doesn't win it, we know why.
I'd be very shocked if Embiid didn't win it. Yeah. But it's kind of like you gotta ask yourself, like, who's doing these MVP votes? Is it the people? Is it the I don't know what happens behind the scenes, like who actually are doing the MVP votes? Who's the ones that's putting their vote in the ballot? Like, yo, This is the person. Whatever.
I know. Certain, like the media, like, you know, the guys, they have a vote and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I just think there's just these outdated guys that's voting, man. It's like I said, it's the eye test to me, man. Clear as day. Right. You know, I
think the fans should have a piece of the vote also. Like, I mean, like, I understand, like, when it comes to fandom, it's kind of like anybody can do that. It's kind of like, all right, we're going to vote this person into the All-Star game. Not in that aspect.
I was about to say, because that's the first thing I thought about. I'm like,
No. Yeah. But I feel like there should be some type of like system to where it's kind of like, yo, let's vote. Like the fans get a little percentage of it. And then obviously the media, the coaches.
Yes.
I mean, even the other players. I think the other players should get a vote in it also. Because at the end of the day, like, the players know what's up.
Absolutely.
They know what's up. They know who's who. They know who's out here busting ass.
Yes.
I mean, like, yes, on the court, when they're playing against each other, they seem like, you know, they don't mess with each other. But other than that, I think they know. They know. So they'll give the right decision. So I don't think it should just be, I think everyone should have a piece of the MVP vote. You can tell me whether I'm wrong and shut the hell up, but I think that should be it, man. But other than Embiid and Joker, who do you think is runner up? Like, who you think has people are sleeping on? So,
and you know, people definitely can't sleep on this guy. You know, Giannis. I mean, you know, you got your team second in the East. Mm-hmm. You're dominating year in, year out, dominating again this year. But see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like because he won one, it's like, all right, you got yours. So it's like, yeah, we know you averaging, you know, 34 and 12 and, you know, but you got one.
Right. I feel like a lot of people don't respect Giannis. I feel like it's kind of like, all right, yo.
That's crazy to me, bro.
It's wild crazy
listen,
to me.
Listen. He is you talking about like effort?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody brings the motor more than him.
Right.
He plays every single game like it's his last.
Right.
The only thing I can say is, like I said, he got one.
Right.
So they like somebody else, but that's why this shit is rigged, man. It's rigged.
I mean, I honestly think that Giannis, and you can correct me whether I'm wrong, I think Giannis gets better every year. I feel like he goes, season's over, summertime comes, he locks in, and he gets better.
Yep.
He couldn't shoot, he got better. He
Yep.
couldn't shoot free throws, he got better.
Yep.
He couldn't dribble like that, he couldn't really he got better. He gets better every year.
I agree.
They need to put some respect on Giannis's name.
I agree.
Like, I mean, like, honestly, guys, like, if you're a real basketball fan, you gotta put some respect on Giannis, because like a lot of these players, from watching them, I feel like, all right, a lot of these players, they come back summer to summer, and they're the same guy.
Right.
But you gotta respect someone that actually puts the effort into their craft and becomes a better player summer after summer after summer. So I'll definitely put that. But also in the MVP race, I would throw in Jason Tatum.
Yes, absolutely.
I love him.
Absolutely.
He's great.
Again, we know the history of the league. You know, when you have and he should be a little higher due to his team's, record. I mean, they've been number one in the East since like November.
Right.
Holding it down. He's been playing lights out. He's averaging 30.
Right.
In the past, the number one teams with the player that's been dominant, they've been getting more of the votes. So they're kind of sleeping on him, but he's phenomenal, man. I feel like he's only gotten hungrier for tasting that finals. Now he knows what he needs to do.
Right.
They should be right back in it. This playoffs is going to be interesting. Luka was there. Luka's been having some injuries. The team done fell down a little bit. Yeah. So I wouldn't have him in it, but that would be the four.
Right.
Joker, Embiid, Giannis, and Tatum, but it's Embiid.
I'm going with Embiid.
Embiid got to win it, man.
I'm going with Embiid.
Embiid got to win it.
Embiid got to win it. I co-sign that. I approve that message.
Yeah, come on, man.
I mean, you got to give it to Embiid, guys. You got to give it to Embiid. But before we get to our last topic, I wanted to touch on this. Like, I wanted to touch on the KD trade. Yep. KD pulls up to the Suns.
Yep.
And then a lot of people is just kind of like, yo, KD's in the Suns. That's it.
Right.
They win.
Right.
But I'm a basketball guy. I won't say I'm a basketball junkie, but I'm close to it.
Yeah.
And I know what it takes to win a championship. Mm. And the playoffs, like, you watch regular season basketball, playoffs is different.
Yes, sir.
You got to lock in. You got to lock down. You got to play defense, because it's kind of like, yo, I'm playing you 4 games. You got 4 games to win, and we're going to lock down, and I'm going to the defensive schemes are going to be different.
Yes.
The offense are going to be different. Defensively, the Suns look, I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
So, my issue with the Suns, obviously, we know the talent that KD is, especially D Book.
Absolutely.
The question I have is, like you said, it's definitely the lack of defense, and maybe the lack of depth off the.
Absolutely.
I don't really know the rotation off the bench right now, but they definitely got to strengthen up. I mean, just at this point, you just need guys to just step up, because
absolutely,
who you got is just who you going in the playoffs with.
Right.
But I feel like the key is Chris Paul, man.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Like, his job definitely got easier, but
he's not the same. He's not the same.
That's just the bottom line.
He's not
guys going at him. Nobody don't care what you did back in the day. I do, because I'm a huge Chris Paul fan.
I love Chris Paul.
And I remember
Chris Paul.
New Orleans Hornets.
Right.
people probably know he played for them.
Right.
That they were in New Orleans. But I think he's like a liability in a sense. He's going to get the assists. He plays well, but again, they're going to need defense from him. He's going to play 35 minutes,
Right.
And we know, like you said, how hard the playoffs is. The team just got to worry about you. Who's guarding KD just got to worry about KD every night.
Right.
Every other night, that's my assignment.
Right.
And it gets hard.
Right.
I don't know if they have enough, man.
I don't know either.
Chris Paul just need those guys to be lights out, KD and D Book.
Right.
It can be a lot.
And Chris Paul has battled with a lot of like hamstring issues. I feel like it's always that. When he was on he was on the Rockets. He played on the Rockets.
At that game 7, he was hurt.
They should have won that.
Yeah, you remember when he was in LA?
Yes.
And he beat the Spurs in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt. He was hobbled. He hit the game winning shot.
Right.
And they played the next round and they lost.
Right.
Ever since then, that was probably like 2000, I want to say 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since then, it's like every year he's been hurt.
Right.
He's hurt and hurt. He was hurt last year.
Right.
So
yeah, it just keeps happening. Chris Paul, I love him. I love Chris Paul. That's my dog.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the Suns have what it takes. Ayton doesn't do it for me. Ayton doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. Like he's just I don't think he's an elite center. He's not an AD.
Right.
He's not a Joker. He's not an Embiid. He's not one of those elite centers, big guys. He's just a center.
He's just a center.
He's just a big guy.
And he's a good one, but I feel like he can be better.
Oh, absolutely.
The I don't know what he's lacking, but watching these games, you can see the frustration on Booker's face.
Absolutely.
Chris Paul's face. It's like I think it's still that negative energy roaming around on the team from the offseason with they didn't trade Ayton. They didn't let him go, and he wanted to go.
Right.
And he had the fallout with Monty Williams.
Right.
I feel like, when you have a goal to win a chip, you should be able to nip that in the butt, but it's still hovering over the team, and you can see it. And his play, it hasn't got better. It hasn't gotten any better. He should be better than what he is right now.
Right. Because for me, it's just kind of like when I look at him, it's kind of like, are you working on your game during the summer? Because you come back as the same player, and I'm not a hater. I'm not hating. I just call it how I see it, and I just feel like Ayton, bruh, you can get better. You can get better.
Right, and the problem is too, when you playing with a player like Chris Paul, it's you got to do your job. You set these screens, you pick and pop, you pick and roll, and he's going to hit you. So it's less isolation ball for Ayton to go at guys because of the system.
Chris Paul makes the game very easy for people.
That can also hinder a player.
Absolutely.
At the same time.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's a part of what's going on with Ayton. The other part is I don't think he's hungry enough, man. He should be better than what he is. Bottom line, if he was playing, he should be a 23-10 guy easy.
Right.
Playing with those guys.
Right.
Because how the game is so easy for you.
Right.
You can run a pick and roll with CP, Booker or KD.
Right. And
you'll have that opportunity to score.
Right.
But
we'll see. I think now that they have KD,
yeah,
there shouldn't be any reason why Ayton, you're not getting buckets.
I mean, I kind of disagree because it's going to take shots away from him.
It does, but at the same time, it's kind of like the focus is on D-Book.
Yeah.
The focus is definitely on KD.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then also CP3 can get buckets also. He has that mid-range. He's going to pull up from the free throw line, and he's going to, right there at that elbow, and bow.
So let's break the shots down. We know D-Book shooting about 20 to 25 times a game. We know that.
Yes.
KD come over, in my opinion, he should be shooting the ball more than D-Book. So that's another 20 shots there. Where's AD? Where's Aiton's shots at coming?
You know what? You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
You know.
You're right.
And the problem that I have, he doesn't command the ball. Yo, this guy can't check me.
Right.
Let me get this.
Right.
Like he needs to show that more
because he can score. There's been games that he gets buckets, and I'm just kind of like, yo, who is this guy? Like, where did he come from?
But then what did he do the next game?
Nothing.
Mediocre.
Right.
So
I mean, he'll give you 10 points.
Yeah.
10 points, like, 10 rebounds.
Yeah, right. If that.
Right.
If that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that'll definitely be interesting to see. We'll definitely stay tuned.
Yes,
and once the playoff come, we'll definitely have another couple of episodes for you guys.
Yeah,
and,
man.
and keep it there. But last topic before we get out of here, man, I think we saved the best for last. We got to talk about LeBron James.
Yeah, come on.
We're gonna talk about someone that doesn't have. We talked about Ja. We talked about having blemishes on your career. We're gonna talk about somebody who doesn't have any blemishes, and that's LeBron James, man. LeBron James is one of the best players I think you would ever see in the lifetime. He's up there. He's up there with the LeBron. He's up there. LeBron's up there. Kobe, Jordan.
Yep.
And for the old heads, Russell, Wilt, Kareem.
Kareem, absolutely. Magic.
Magic. Bird.
Right.
He's up there. He's on Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
My question is, now that LeBron has won the scoring title, do you look at him as the GOAT? Many will argue, and this has been an argument for all the major networks.
Right.
But I feel like we can't get off this episode without giving our point of view on it. What do you think about that?
All right. So to me, I think he is, and here's why. Obviously, the one thing that stands out is the consistency from day one. That he's displayed is just. No one can say he had a bad year. You still can't even say the man in this 20 years is declining.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the total body of work. I don't want to hear, well, if Jordan would have never retired. Listen, but he did. We got to talk about what's there.
Right.
And what kills me with people is I understand the fashion that Jordan won his 6 rings. It's impressive. I was a Jordan fan growing up. Who wasn't? Everybody in the world was.
Right.
But when you get older, you got to start really laying stuff out and really seeing it for what it is.
Right.
To me, it's like if LeBron had a ring or just 2 rings, conversation might be a little different.
Right.
The fact that he has 4 rings and Jordan has 6, people make it seem like this guy has like 10 more rings than him.
Right.
And he only has 2, behind him, and he's not done.
Right.
We know he's the top scorer ever. He's top 5 in assists all time. It's all the accolades he have combined, especially being the role model off the court, all in the same under the same umbrella is super impressive, and you can't take anything away from him. I don't understand these guys out here you can't hate on that man.
No, you can't.
I don't understand the ounce of hate. I don't understand the hate that this
I
guy
don't
gets,
understand
man.
that how you hate on LeBron James. Like, he's done so much for the NBA. And it's kind of like, for me, it's like, you want to talk about rings. Like, oh, okay, well, Jordan has this and LeBron has that. All right, well, Russell has 10.
That's why I said
Russell has 10. So if we're going to do that,
and they're going to critique that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, it can't really go off of rings. And I gotta give you a shout out, Charles Barkley. You say a lot of dumb shit, but you probably said this is probably the best thing you ever said in your life. And he pretty much broke it down like these guys are goats in their own right. It's just not one GOAT. And I feel like you gotta look at it like that. Because the eras are different.
It is.
You know what I mean? So we could sit here and speculate, well, if LeBron played in that era or Jordan, you could do that till you blue in the face.
Right.
the facts are they played in they're great in their own eras.
Right.
And I think that's how you gotta break it down.
I look at it the same way. I mean, you look at the era. We got Russell, we got Magic, we got Bird,
Right.
We got Isaiah.
Yes.
And then we got because people don't remember.
We got this great guy right
here. Of course,
here.
we got Cole. You mean to go? Of course,
we got this great man right here.
Of course, I mean, and it's kind of like a lot of people forget or they don't fail to realize like. As time changes and the NBA evolves, it becomes a different game.
Yeah.
And like in each era, we have different players that are the GOAT of that era.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like Jordan's definitely the GOAT. Like he's one of the greatest. But LeBron can be there too. Kobe could be there too.
They're both there. And I'm gonna tell you why. So and I get it. I'm gonna say you guys' response before y'all get to say it. Oh, you can only play who's in front of you. But let's call it what it is. The tougher era is this era because of the elite players. They're way better players now than they were back then. Jordan was playing against a bunch of spot up old guys. These guys, they had a role. Point guards back then, your job was just to facilitate.
Right.
And it would. Somebody please tell me? Can you tell me a two guard that was on this level outside of Drexler, Clyde Drexler?
I don't know.
Craig Elo was guarding him. Jeff Hornacek was guarding him. Like, come on, like these guys they're not guarding nobody today.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the one thing that you can say about Bron and about Kobe. They played a bit against way better competition, man.
But and also though, Reese, like people gotta understand, Jordan had a squad. Mm-hmm. He had a team, and guys, we have to stop this.
Yes.
If Jordan did not have Pippen, I don't know how many chips he wins. I'm not saying he's not gonna win any.
Yeah.
But the proof is in the pudding.
He's not winning 6.
He's not. No. We know he's not winning 6.
Not winning 6.
He's not winning 6, guys. But also the proof is in the pudding. Jordan retires. The Bulls damn near get to the finals.
They got to the they got to the conference finals. Yeah.
And they lost on some bullshit that could have went either way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the proof is in the pudding that the team was still good without Jordan.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and then we look at Bron. Bron took what? It was Ilgauskas.
So yeah, I could tell you the starting lineup.
Please.
All right. So starting at your point guard was Eric Snow.
Eric Snow, yes.
And then they had your two. I believe it was either Larry Hughes.
Yes.
They had Boobie Gibson coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
They had LeBron at the 3. They had Dwight Gooden at the 4. And they had Gauskas at the 5.
Yes.
He took that team to the finals.
Yes. And then they had Douglas Marshall or some shit like that.
Donnell Marshall.
Donnell Marshall. Yeah. Yeah, they had him. And it's kind of like he took that team to the finals.
Yeah.
And he was young. This is young LeBron.
Yeah, 07 LeBron.
Right.
07 LeBron.
So it's kind of like when people try to talk shit about LeBron, it's kind of like, yo, guys, look what this man did. And look what the body of work he did. And then, people like, oh, he went to the super team. He went with D Wade and whatever. It's kind of like, yo, bruh, he had to.
Yeah.
And people forget, like, yo, the Boston Celtics were, they were a super team.
Absolutely.
They were a super team.
Absolutely.
The problem was that they were older now.
Right.
And they should have won more chips that they should have won.
Right.
But they ran into certain teams that was kind of like, all right, yo, we're going to bust your ass. They ran into,
here.
You know what I mean? Like, they ran into the Lakers. They got that. They got the one from the Lakers, but then they ran into the Lakers again. They ran into the Heat.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And, so it was kind of like, yo, like, these teams, it was kind of like, yo, LeBron realized, like, yo, I can't do this by myself in Cleveland.
Right.
I can't. And people got to understand, none of these players can do it by themselves.
Nah. No one has.
If that was the case, then Damian Lillard would have 10 chips by now.
Exactly.
I mean, so
exactly.
So that just goes to show you the proof is in the pudding. We will watch Damian Lillard suffer for the rest of his career. Yeah. I love Dame Lillard. He's a great player. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like you need help. You need other stars. You need other stars. And so for me, it's kind of like at the end of the day, guys, give LeBron his flowers. Because I will bet your ass, once LeBron retires, I don't know if basketball will be the same.
It won't. It won't be. You will never see another complete player like that. You won't. Again, like I said, the guy's on record for saying that if he wanted to lead the league in scoring every year, he could.
Right.
And his best attribute is his passing.
Right.
But somehow he's the all-time leading scorer. It's amazing to me. Again, I just hate that. I just hate all this negative shit, man. Like all the hate is like guys would hate, but like, oh, I ain't like the colorway of LeBron's shoes. That's why I don't think he's the GOAT. Like, come on, man. Like grown ass men, you know, that drooled over Jordan when they was kids, can't even learn to appreciate the greatness of a player like this. You know, without critiquing him over the dumbest shit, man. Right. It's crazy. But I've been watching LeBron since I was 16. I'm 37. Right. Since he was a sophomore in high school.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even then, the way he carry himself now is the way he carried himself back then. This was destined to be, man. And what a run, man! What a run! You won't see it again.
It's
you
great.
Won't see it again,
it's
man.
Great, man.
You won't see it again.
I'll leave you guys with this. It's kind of like, guys, appreciate LeBron. Give LeBron his flowers before it's all over, because this is the same way that there was this sense of sadness when Kobe retired.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the same sadness when LeBron retires, because it's like the Lakers have been bad for a couple of seasons, but they still watch it. Why do they still watch the Lakers game? Because LeBron is on the Lakers. You take LeBron and you put him on freaking the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls will be on every national game.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, yo, appreciate LeBron. Give him his flowers while he's here, because once he's gone, I don't know where basketball goes.
Right.
We'll have to wait and see. But that'll be that, man.
Hey, people, listen. My man is in his 20th season, averaging 30. So, somebody tell me another player that's averaging 10 in their 20th season.
Right.
Get back with me. Let me know. I already know the answer, but y'all let me know. Just stop the hate, man. Stop the hate. He's great. To us, he's the greatest.
Right.
And that's what it is, man.
That's what it is, man. But so with that being said, guys, I wanna leave you out. Reese, I wanna thank you so much for pulling up, man.
I appreciate it. I wanna thank you, and I just wanna say, listen, man. I've known this guy since high school. He jumped out there with this, and he's doing great things. I just need everybody to support him. Support him like you support anything else going out there. Listen, he's doing his thing, and we all need to, back this brother, and like, let's go. Let's get him out there. He know that's my guy. I'm going to do whatever I can for him. I'm going to be here. This won't be the last time you guys see me.
Absolutely not.
And like I said, I got my guy, so, have him the same way, y'all, please.
I appreciate you, man. Yep. Guys, thank you for tuning into another episode of 7 p.m. in Philly. Yes, Reese, I thank you so much,
sir.
Man.
My bro.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dog. Thank you so much. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe again, like it again, man. We're gonna keep let's keep this pod going, guys. Let's keep it going, man. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Tune in again for another episode next week. And I'll see y'all soon. So be good, guys.
Holla.
Later.